This week on Sailing Gypsea, we returned from a day of exploring, and Jibsea is flipping gone.
That sucks.
I feel sick.
We're gonna have to go back to Canada.
I'm Stephanie, and this is Travis. Together we bought a Hunter 42 Passage that we call Jibsea. We sold almost everything that we owned and moved aboard. After living on Jibsea through a Toronto winter, we decided that we had to get down south. Though we've got very little sailing experience, we decided to leave it all behind in our home country Canada to live out our dream in sailing the world. We're so pumped to share this adventure of a lifetime.
On a car rental today in Salinas to drive up to San Juan and check out some of the forts there. I know we have to head to a West Marine and do a few stops to do some provisioning. This will probably be our best bet to get some things that we want to get before we head down to Grenada for hurricane season. This thing sounds awful.
Yeah.
Gosh. $60 cash deal. Your favorite place. You gotta get here.
Stuff, lots of stuff. And I gotta focus on what I need to find.
Start our list.
Got a list. The list. Our front block doesn't line up properly, so when we're furled, it chafes on the drum of the furler, and then it chafed through the rope. I didn't notice it until
it chafed through the rope.
It chafed through the rope. And then I tried adjusting it, which it looked good when I furled it, but when it was under pressure, it actually chafed again.
And we used our spare line, so now we need to buy a backup.
Yeah.
Next, we're heading to a fabric store in search of material to make a sunshade with.
0% light. We wouldn't want that. We want some breathability.
We found it.
Thank you. Found the fabric. A little bit more than what you thought or wanted to pay.
Yeah, but it should work. It looks pretty interesting material. It's a PVC material. So when you see what I'm done, it's pretty simple. We're in San Juan, so we're gonna check out the big fort and the old town of San Juan. God, this horse and carriage.
A horse and carriage.
On the old cobblestone roads, we're in a horse and carriage. Couldn't get a better experience.
Old San Juan is absolutely beautiful. It's a historic district located at the northwest triangle of the islet of San Juan. It's the oldest settlement within Puerto Rico, and it's filled with brightly colored houses and lined with cobblestone streets. Present day, it's filled with shops, museums, open-air cafes, restaurants, and colorful homes. Located in Old San Juan is Castillo San Felipe del Morro, which is also known as El Morro. The Spaniards started the construction of the citadel back in 1539, and it was completed in 1790. A half mile across the mouth of the Bay of San Juan is another smaller fort known as El Cañuelo, and when enemy ships would try to enter the bay, The two forts created a crossfire that would close the bay entrance and the rest of San Juan. Thanks to these two forts, the Spaniards were able to defend Puerto Rico from British and Dutch pirates. When the island changed hands from Spain to the United States, El Morro was actively used as a military installation during both World Wars. In 1961, the U.S. Army retired El Morro and passed it on to the National Park Service to establish a museum. In 1983, the citadel and walled city of Old San Juan were declared World Heritage Sites by UNESCO.
It is like almost 11 p.m. now, and we're finally back at the marina to drop off the car, and then we gotta figure out how we're gonna fit all this stuff into the dinghy because we got a lot of stuff. It's not too bad, but definitely a lot of stuff to carry in a little dinghy.
Whoa,
Look, there's
monster.
two. We just found this note in our dinghy after being gone for 12 hours, so Travis is gonna go check. Here he comes. So our boat's not where we anchored it. That note is rightfully placed in our dinghy. And now he's just looking around to see where the boat could be. This is exactly what Travis was actually mentioning when we were out. He's like, well, it was a windy day today. I hope our boat holds okay. Travis just took a look at the boat docked in the marina here, and he said that the stanchions are broken and the anchor is gone, so it means it's probably sitting at the bottom of the water now. Just got off the phone with Jose, the dock master here, and we were told that it actually blew 30 knots in the harbor. Which, you checked the weather this morning and there was a blow, but you didn't see 30 knots.
Didn't see 30 knots. So our boat broke loose from its anchor somehow.
Hit another boat in the harbor apparently, and as they were trying to tow it, it ran aground into the mangroves real hard, and then they left our anchor there with one of our fenders floating in it, so we'll try to retrieve our anchor.
I don't even want to know what this is going to cost us for to get our boat put into that slip.
Yeah.
And deal with all the other shit. Like,
he said it was a hard tow, so that sucks.
I feel sick. Well, let's go look at our boat, see what kind of shambles it's in. I hope, like, nothing serious is broken.
Or what other boat it hit.
I don't know.
It could have been one of the derelict boats. That's not. Hopefully there was nobody in the other boat.
I just hope it didn't.
Here, he's sending me a picture. He's sending me a picture.
So, he attached my anchor to the end of this buoy, which got 300 feet of chain to pull up now and put in the dinghy. So let's see how that goes. And I found the end. So always make sure that you know where the end is before you put everything into a big ball, because then it's almost impossible to find the end of the chain. Nasty. There it is. See where I am? So our boat drifted over here. Like that boat and that boat. 4 feet deep here, but it's in mud, so best place to drag into is mud. There it is. Got the anchor. Just bring it back to the boat. Well, good thing we bought this.
Why? That's all we're gonna be eating.
That's all we're gonna be eating for the next while. 20 pounds of rice.
And ice soup.
Nice soup. Well, we anchored one time and I was like, it doesn't feel like a great holding here. And then, so we pulled the anchor and we re-anchored and I put out 130 feet of chain and 8 feet of water. And then we backed down onto it at like 2,200 RPMs or more. I looked at the wind, I was like, okay, 18, maybe 20 knots of wind on like offshore, but apparently it had 30 plus knots of wind blowing through in the bay here. So obviously our anchor did not hold. Yeah, it's an old boat. There's like that much growth in the bottom of the boat. And you can tell it had previous damage, like all the stanchion's been broken before and had a lot of fiberglass issues in the front. So I don't know which we did, like I'm pretty sure we did a little bit of it because his bow rubbed across all of our stanchions and all of our stanchions on the starboard side broke off. So we did a little bit and it broke our starboard nav light off. But other than that, like I didn't see anything on our hull. Like our hull wasn't damaged. I just got to check the rudder post under the bed, make sure it's not leaking or anything.
We already had such a freaking expensive day. You're like, you know, when you hit that ceiling.
Yeah, sitting in Walmart. You know when you just don't want to spend any more money?
Then we get back and we're like, fuck.
We were walking up and down the dock. I pinched myself to see if it was real. I pinched myself twice.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, this can't be happening. But how funny is it, or not funny, but ironic, that we've been with a solid big group of buddy boats this whole time, where everyone's been anchored in the same spot, or at least like half of us, and the one time that we're not with other people and we left for the whole day and none of our friends were in the anchorage, that this happened. You should go to sleep now. You did more than you should have done upon getting back.
What time is it?
1 a.m.
Oh, that's like 10.
Okay. No, it's 1.
All right.
You should have a shower and get some sleep.
Let's go to bed. Paddleboard's probably seen some better days.
We just spoke with the Harbour Master on the dock briefly, thanked him in person. He said he's not going to charge us as a salvage because it wouldn't be fair, thank goodness. And he's going to bill us whatever they charge per hour, so he's going to tally everything up, and then we're going to meet him in the office a little bit later to see what the damage was. So we already spent so much money trying to provision for Grenada and getting a bunch of things while here, and then to have this just top it off, I don't know. Like, I don't know. We'll see.
This one just needs to be straightened, which I'm gonna try to straighten it. And then this one.
Of course you are.
Of course I am. And then this one, for now, like if someone just kind of welds that straight, realistically these things can work again. We can replace both of these with proper ones, so. We don't have any hull damage, like there's no scratches on our hull. So like we don't have any fiberglass work, so that's cool. It'd be nice to just put it back together somewhat until we can get the right parts and like properly do it, so we can just like get out of here.
The Harbour Master called a welder for us, and within 20 minutes he came and picked up our damaged stanchions.
What's it look like under there?
Looks to be normal. That's good. I'll just take a look under the bed and look at the rudder later today. So, feels good. I'll just take a look underneath later and see how it is.
We're gonna have to go back to Canada.
Oh, hope not.
So we got the bill. And they were beyond nice to us. And they said that if this had happened on the East Coast, we probably would have been taken for a ride, boat confiscation, and just raped up the wazoo in hourly boat tow charges, like $500 an hour plus confiscation of the boat. But here at Marina de Salinas, they charged us a total of $1,450. So they charged us 3 hours for the boat rescue, for the towing, at $250 an hour. The Harbour Master talked to the owner of the vessel that we went adrift into, and then there was also a little bit of damage on their dinghy from towing. So the damage to the ships was $600, and then they had to do a mooring inspection to make sure that everything was still okay to dive down to the vessel that we had hit, and that was $100. So the total was $1,450, which is a relief because that's not much. Well, it's much for us, but I mean, like, it could have been way freaking worse.
Yeah.
And
We just
they were so nice to be like, oh, do you guys want to stay in this slip for like a couple of days, 2 to 3 days? Because we're like, we need to get back out there and anchor because we can't afford to be in the marina. They didn't even charge us for the slip to stay here overnight, and they're not going to charge us for the slip for 2 or 3 days that we need to be here, plugging into their dock and using water or whatever else. So that's really freaking nice of them. We can keep this going. We just can't spend any money. Are you okay with eating ice soup and rice?
yeah, I said you can use the marinas for a couple days, and yeah, they just super nice. So $1,450 bucks. Obviously, that's like $2,000 Canadian, which is stupid Canadian dollar.
Pay for our mistakes.
But I'm glad because he talked to
The owner.
of the other boat. Like that was kind of like the gray area in your and I's discussion. Like,
What did we do?
Yeah, what do we do? What does he do? Because that boat had a bunch of damage on the front end, anyways.
Was there anybody on it? Like,
Yeah, like how do we even get a hold of the owner? Stuff like that. So I'm glad that he took care of that.
remember when somebody asked us, like, what is our biggest fear? I think a new fear is leaving for the day and then coming back to your boat not being where you left it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the new one. I didn't really think about it, until it happened. But I mean, imagine if there was no note on our dinghy when we got back and we had all our stuff loaded up the dinghy, went out there at night and we're like, this isn't, like, is this where we left the boat? Like, where's the boat?
Oh, I'd know instantly that the boat wasn't where we left it.
And then what, we would go dinghying out at night trying to look for it. I think the marina slips would have been the last spot we would have looked. I wouldn't want to see Jibsea on its side, like, tucked away in the mangroves. That would make me so sad, because it'd be like, you know those boats that we go through, like down the ICW, or even like in these little bays, and we see them tilted on their side, or they're sunken, or whatever, and it just looks so sad, and we're like, oh, I wonder what happened to that boat. If it was our home, and we came back and saw that, that would be so, like, that'd be so sad. I wouldn't even think about that. We'd have to lug all our stuff in. Okay, whatever, it didn't happen, so we didn't even think about that, okay? We just have to be more careful in the future. Lesson learned, each challenge just makes us stronger, right?
Stronger and a little poorer.
Yeah, and a lot poorer. We got the stanchions back pretty quickly. We're just waiting on one.
We got one of them back. He just straightened it. It was only bent. I could have straightened it, but I kind of just gave it to him.
And then we got the nav lights sorted out.
Well, I'm installing the nav lights. They're just some cheap nav lights, but they say they work 2 nautical miles and they're Coast Guard approved, so they should work.
And it was within biking distance from this marina.
Yeah,
so.
it was the only thing we can get. We needed nav lights no matter what. So now all he's got to do is weld up one of our stanchions, and I can put it back together, and we should be good to go.
Well,
But
with the marina time, see that dock back there? We can use it to roll out that big thing of fabric to make the sunshade.
yeah, I'm gonna make full use of this marina. He says we can be here for 2 to 3 days, then we're gonna take advantage of it. We get a little bit of internet, we get power.
Showers if you want. There is a silver lining.
There's a silver lining.
I mean, it was an expensive silver lining, but there's a silver lining.
I can put the AC on.
It's so much better. I can actually use our hot burner without feeling like
I want to strangle you for getting too close and radiating your heat.
No, this is lovely. We got the AC blowing you in the face. We're deep frying some chicken, unpowered chicken. We're not sweaty and sticky. What do you call this? The silver lining, I
An
suppose.
expensive lesson.
An expensive lesson. Get to enjoy something of it, I suppose. I get to plug in the TV and watch a movie.
We made use of the time to complete some boat projects we had started before. So we finished replacing our companionway with new plexiglass.
How awesome is it to be able to see through this companionway?
We had 3 stackable pieces, and we've replaced it with a solid piece, which is much clearer. We also got a chance to get rid of this top piece that had this Velcro strip from an old sunshade cover that drove us nuts with dust and dirt collection.
So there's this guy cleaning his boat over there, and there's a massive manatee just hanging out with him while he cleans the bottom.
Really?
I'm gonna go jump in. There he is.
Oh, there he
hey,
is.
buddy. Hey.
Cool. So it doesn't work? For real?
GoPro doesn't work anymore.
Well, we can't buy another one, so at least it's not super clear water down here where we really need to see anything.
I know, but where we're going is where we need one.
We can't afford one now. Oh, this is a great area to lay it out and cut it. And there's shade. Double whammy. So if you need the base to be 51 inches, and you want it to be even on each side, and we have 93 inches, 93 minus 51 leaves you with 42. So you divide 42 by each side, which is 21. So you need to have 21 inches on that side, 21 inches on that side, and then you'll be left with what you need in the middle.
53 inches. Okay.
This isn't really working though, it's really stiff. Gotta find an easier way to feed it through.
Well, that should work a lot better because the other way was worse than when you lose a drawstring in your sweatpants or your hoodie.
Oh. We're gonna like it.
Let's test her out.
Just gotta run the other line. I'll have to think of an easy way to clip them on so we're not having to. So hopefully just like a clip.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, we'll keep the bedroom a little bit cooler too, and then we could like actually take our chairs and then sit back here.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure once I get down the side with that next material, once I have this up, I'm gonna wish we had more material. We just got our stanchion back from the guy that welded it. He just had to straighten one of them and then re-weld this because it's in 2 pieces. It's not pretty and it's not straight, but at least it's sleeved.
We ended up staying almost a week in the marina and were ready to take off. Despite the situation, we're thankful we had the slip for this long, free of charge, to do our repairs and get other boat projects done. We're happy to be leaving Salinas and we're ready to put this whole ordeal behind us, now that Jibsea's all fixed up. It's not all rainbows and butterflies out here. we're at the mercy of the weather that can be unpredictable and anchors can drag. We'll be moving forward with this experience as another valuable lesson learned in this crazy adventure we call life. Thanks for watching, and much love to our patrons. Your extra support really does help us out, especially in times like these. We're forever grateful.